Hello and welcome to a special episode of Laptop Retrospective. Today I want you to come with a short trip with me down memory lane, and not like the, traumatic experience memory lane, but a computer that I built about 11 years ago now, using these parts. It was powered by an Intel Q9550. Great little machine. It's actually used as a secondary computer in my home. However, it is starting to develop a couple of quirks and is no longer running reliably. I suspect that it's probably the motherboard that's going and not the CPU, but by the time you start sourcing some of these older parts to keep older hardware running, you'd think it might be time to start looking at other options. Now, I actually have a pretty decent desktop rig, all things considered. It's not what you would call brand new. It is running this motherboard, and there's nothing in the box that tells me the CPU, but I know that the CPU that I'm currently running is an i7-4770K. And many of you that know your chipsets will know that that's not exactly a slouch when it comes to processing power. So the thought is to retire the Q9550 and move the i7-4770K into the secondary role in my home and just do a little bit of swapping, because the current secondary computer is running this GeForce GTX 950 card, which is still going to do just fine, of course. And then my main computer is still operating the GeForce GTX 1070. And quite frankly, that is also doing everything that I need it to do. So here is where I'm kind of hoping that you can come in. I have, in my mind, approximately a budget of 1,000 Canadian dollars. And I already know that I want to get my parts at a local Memory Express store that we have here in Canada. They have some of the best selection and customer service around, and I always feel a little bit better just going in person, buying my parts there, and of course supporting a local company. That being said, there are two CPUs or CPU combinations that I am looking at. I will not need anything for the old computer, but I will need for the new computer a CPU, motherboard, and DDR4 RAM. Like, that is a certainty. If there is any money left over, I might be able to get another case. We will see. If not, I'm going to have to reuse what I have, I'm afraid. So my budget is 1,000 Canadian dollars. Some of that I was hoping to either purchase a i7 9700K, which is the current generation Intel CPU equivalent, more or less, of what I'm currently running as my main desktop. But I'm also curious about the AMD Ryzen, particularly the AMD Ryzen 7 2700X. In terms of specs, I think that those two CPUs are the most equal without getting into the minutiae of things. I know that single core performance on the i7 is slightly higher, those sorts of things. But what I would like anyone to do, if they've got a spare moment or they feel that they've got something to contribute, is I'm going to leave the link to the Memory Express website down in the description below. I'm going to say that they're not sponsoring me or anything like that, but if you want to, let me know. Go to the website, start putting things into like a magic shopping cart, and I'd be really curious to know what configurations that you might come up with. I have absolutely no idea what I need or want for a motherboard. I know it's got to have a lot of USB because I've got everything from cameras to microphones to audio mixing equipment, keyboards. I fill a lot of my USB ports, so that's really important. But beyond that, I really feel like I'm about 5 generations out of touch, because I am. At any rate, if you could provide any insights, suggestions, recommendations for board CPU combinations, or even RAM, I would greatly appreciate hearing from you in the comment section down below, or hit me up on Twitter with your suggestions. I've Not too sure if this is going to be the time to pull the trigger on this project, but if I do, I'd love to film it and show it to you. I know that it's laptop retrospective, but it's neither a laptop and it's not really a retrospective, but I think that it could be an awful lot of fun and definitely something that you, the viewer, would be interested in seeing. At any rate, I think I've rambled on for enough. Thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you down below in the comments very soon, and I'll see you later.